Thank you so much, Laura. That was a long silence before it got to us. I'm indeed joined here in the PGL by Humanoid and by Nymira to talk about that game. We just heard from your jungler, but obviously, first question I always like to ask is, what was it like for you, and how did you live the series?
I think for me it was a pretty fun series since I could play LeBlanc every single game, which is a fun champion. So yeah, I think except the second game, I think we had it kind of under control. So I think it was a pretty fun series.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they should have banned the LeBlanc? Because the thinking of the analysts was kind of like, well, they've showed things against it. And to be fair to them, they won game 2. And game 4 actually in the early game went pretty G2 favored as well.
I think they should have banned it. I think later in the series when they saw that LeBlanc is doing pretty well, like even in the game we lost, I think I was pretty far ahead. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's not really that much CC in the meta right now, so I think LeBlanc is pretty strong and they should have banned it, yeah.
Actually, just as an aside, just out of personal interest, you said that LeBlanc was really fun to play in this series. What is your favorite champion to play right now in the current meta? Is it LeBlanc? Is it something else?
I mean, right now I like to play the AP Kai'Sa actually. Yeah. I played in solo queue a lot and it's so much fun.
For my own sanity, thank you for not playing that.
Oh yeah.
Well, Larson played it yesterday and he lost on it, and he was saying he made some big mistakes. So, I mean, you probably don't want to say if you want to pick it, but sounds like you want to play it.
Awful champion, don't ban it.
We will see.
We will see, indeed.
Maybe next week.
So when it comes to G2, we talked a lot about it pre-show in that how they very much like to play towards top side, you very much like to play towards the bot side, but it did seem like you guys changed your plan a lot. How good do you think Fnatic in this iteration is at adapting on the enemy? Because you didn't actually play that much towards bot this series.
I mean, I think we usually play around bot, that's true in the normal season, but I think for best of fives you should be able to play around every single lane, because there's like, you cannot just go into the game thinking like, okay, we are just gonna only play bot side, and then if it doesn't work then you just can't do anything. Mm-hmm. So we tried to play against every single, around every single lane today, so just to kind of switch it up a bit.
And to kind of put it back into context as well, obviously we've had such high expectations of this team and you've had so many great results in the regular season, but this is the first best of series we've seen this roster do, and you knocked it out the park today, being able to adapt on the fly, play around so many experienced members. So it's kind of great to see, there's an extra ceiling to be discovered here.
Is that a question or?
No, that was just me going, hey, they're very good.
I like it. I appreciate it. So Humanoid, that in that regard as well, first best of 5 and whatnot. A couple of questions specifically maybe on playing versus Caps. This is the new kind of iteration of Fnatic versus G2. Do you feel like it's changed your matchup versus Caps over the years, and where do you think it stands right now? Is it harder? Is it difficult? Is it different?
I mean, I think he's for sure the top 2, top 3 mid laner still. So I think it's always probably the hardest matchup out of any mid laner in EU. So yeah, I mean, it's been like that for basically since I came to LEC, I guess. So mm-hmm. That didn't really change that much in that sense.
Mm-hmm. You were the player of the series, though, the Kia player of the series, with 69% of the votes, KW. Nice. Congratulations. You were saying, well, I think I should get it because I maybe died a little bit in that last game, but yeah, LeBlanc, easy game, easy life, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you play LeBlanc, you have so much options and you can escape any situation, so it's pretty easy. Yeah.
It's really good in the meta. Throughout the year when we've had your teammates on PGL, every single one of them talked about how you are contributing a lot in terms of shot calling, also in terms of just general knowledge about the game. I want to turn it around on them because this is the first time that you come into a completely new environment, new coaching staff, new players, etc. How much do you think that you are learning about your craft and maybe your role, but as you in a team in the season?
And when can we expect you to become the humanoid hive mind, where you're actually playing on 5 computers?
Oh, I mean, I would love to play on 5 computers if that's possible. But yeah, I mean, I think I always try to make my team to play in my way that I think is good, because I think I have pretty good understanding of what to do in the macro sense. So I think I'm just doing now what I was doing in last year in Mats, so, and it's been working so far, so I think, yeah, there's no reason to change it.
Mm-hmm. What is playing the humanoid way?
That's a trade secret, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say about this. It's just, I think we just play better and more controlled in the mid game than usually than the other teams. So
More
yeah.
controlled in the mid game.
But there is actually quite an interesting point about that, because we talk about eras of mid laners, where we talk about, you know, the perks, the caps, and then there's also yourself and Larson, and then Vito kind of coming just a bit after that. But I think actually we see kind of characteristics of players depending on when they started as well, and a lot of the picks that some of the tricks of the trade that they figure out in the meta, which they kind of grew up in, I suppose. It's kind of interesting to see that you're still kind of developing on that style as well and continuing to push further upwards.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I didn't really play back then in like the season 3 when it was a completely different game. So for sure, like some people who played back then have different skill sets than people that started playing later. And yeah, it's just a different style of plays.
We've come a long way from humanoid dice in a side lane, right?
Yeah.
So now there's more control in the mid game. Love it. Let's take a look at the bracket. We now have Fnatic versus Rogue in the upper bracket. You have a bit of experience in best of fives versus Rogue back on the Mad Lions. So yeah, what are your expectations for that match? And do you want to repeat what you told me right before PGL? No?
I mean, I think Rogue should be easier than G2. Yeah, they usually, I mean, I know they have different players, but they usually look worse in playoffs from the past. So I'm kind of expecting them to look worse.
Well, we talked to
again.
Larson yesterday, and he said that's not going to happen again. He said that was because of things.
All right.
And those things aren't there. So take that out of the equation, and if they play the way they do in the regular season, take it into that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyway they are pretty exploitable in best of fives. I think they do a lot of same stuff every single game that are only good if the enemy makes a mistake, basically. So if we don't make mistakes, you know, it sounds pretty easy, then we're gonna win. Yeah.
Just don't make mistakes.
Yeah, just don't make mistakes, and it's easy win.
However, I guess the other team, sadly, at that bracket, being Press Afterpay, respects for G2 with that. That's a big run. That's 3 best of 5s before they could possibly get into the finals if they win all of them.
Great point.
That's actually a lot of games back to back.
Yeah,
I don't envy them.
But the lower bracket or loser bracket is usually teams who come through the loser bracket can end up being much stronger
The hyperbolic
because
time chamber.
like you don't play a lot of games in the regular season, right? So it could be a chance. It does also mean XL versus Vitality. If Vitality wins, for instance, we do get the Perks Caps match, which is like narrative, let's go. But we'll see. Tomorrow, XL versus Vitality. Naimira, what do you think?
Oh, I've actually, when I saw the first round matchups, I thought kind of like on a, should we say an academic level, I'm really looking forward to this one because I feel like both of these... Okay, so let me back that up because I think that both of these teams were kind of flawed coming out of the regular split, right? They had quite a lot of issues to address. So now you've had a really long break for them to go back to the drawing board, figure out what they're going to do in terms of, you know, Vitality, trying to refine what they'd already shown us, XL showing more of what they've already done because they're a bit more refined but a bit more constrained. So you've got one team trying to expand, another one trying to stay where they are, but also just kind of like dig a bit deeper into what they're already shown. So I think tomorrow is going to be really interesting to show how that time off has benefited both the teams or not, as the case may be.
Do you think, Humanoid, that the super team is going to show up tomorrow?
I actually think that the series tomorrow is going to be way closer than people think. I think a lot of people think that Vitality will just stomp XL, but I think it's kind of even between them. I think Vitality didn't really look that great in throughout the whole season, and I don't really see them just suddenly playing way better now than they were before. So I would say that it's going to be kind of even.
It's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. When it comes to the lower bracket, do you think out of XL, Vitality, Misfits, and G2, who is most likely to make a deep run?
I think G2 is the best out of those teams, for sure.
Okay. Well, Naimira was put on the spot together with all the other analysts, and all of them actually pegged Fnatic as winning the whole split. I'd like to know, since we have a couple more minutes left, Naimira, after what you've seen in the first best of 5, what is it that's maybe confirming your opinion? And do you agree on Humanoid in terms of the Fnatic Rogue matchup?
Fnatic Rogue, I do think that Rogue showed me a little more depth than I thought they were going to in that best of 5. I think the fact that Odoamne had such a great series makes me think that it is going to be a competitive series. I think that'd be great for the fans and great for the viewers too. I think it would be great to see that go to a bit more games than just a sweep. But I feel like even with that, I think that the versatility that you guys showed today obviously emboldens your run for that too. I think the fact that it isn't just, oh, we play through bot, and actually you can play through multiple styles, and you weren't even forced to show that in the regular season. That's obviously very scary for the rest of the teams left in the bracket to say, actually, no, you can't just nullify bot. There's so many people you got to take into account on this roster.
Okay. Yamato did, on a couple of cam shots, he looked a little bit distraught.
Striving for perfection,
Yeah,
I think.
Did you have a chance to talk to him yet? Because he looked a bit pissed.
Oh, I don't think he was pissed after the series,
no.
but I'm not sure. I didn't really talk to him yet, so I guess we will see.
I'm kidding. It's fake news. I'm creating drama. It was just like one
okay.
fight.
He's a
I think,
very
in game
emotive
3.
person.
Yeah. In game 3 or something, or game 2 game 3 there was one where there was a fight.
I
Where
believe
think
it was
guys
you
just got
dying.
out. Yeah.
And he did a bit of a head shake.
Maybe I'll get punished in the backstage. Then, I guess.
Maybe. We'll see. Thank you so much, though, Humanoid, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take a selfie. I wonder if it's gonna go better today. I figured it out. I think just hold the mic with this hand.
Would you like me to hold the mic? I can do both.
I'm good. Now I'm good, I think. Yesterday, for some reason, I tried to hold everything.
Look at this selfie-taking mechanics. What do you want us?
Crazy. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. And also for you all at home, daylight savings time. Oops, I forgot. Thank you, producer. Daylight savings time starts tomorrow for Germany and the rest of Europe. So you may lose an hour of sleep, but it does mean that the LEC will be here an hour faster. Kind of, if that's the way you look at it. We'll be back at 4:30 p.m. CEST summertime. So don't forget to run those clocks forward. Bye. Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, LCS is on. Bye.